Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is a video on an embroidery project I've started recently. I've seen online quite a bit of people doing these temperature projects, usually a crocheted or knitted temperature blanket, where you take a row or a square for every day of the year and you assign a different colour to a different temperature or temperature range, so that if it was a hot day, it will probably be in red, a cooler day might be in yellow or blue or green, and it makes something that's like really interesting record of the year that's also quite aesthetically pleasing. Well, I'm not a knitter or a crocheter, I don't have the patience for it, so I wanted a project that was a bit quicker to complete, especially for my first time trying it. I was going to try and do 2024, but then I thought that it might actually be nicer to do 2020 because that's when my son was born. So I have decided to start mine from August 2020 and do it as embroidery. I found this website called W Underground, or I guess it must be Weather Underground, which showed all historic temperatures. They are in Fahrenheit, so I originally planned using Fahrenheit as my temperature ranges. But then when I was going through and looking at every single day, which I did in advance before I started doing the embroidery to check the temperature for that day, I found that there were some gaps. So in the temperatures that have been recorded that I was able to access. So I did find another website called timeanddate.com, and that one was actually in Celsius. So I had to go back through and change my temperature ranges to Celsius, which I'm more used to anyway because we use Celsius in the UK. But it was just the fact that I'd already planned to use Fahrenheit, had to switch to Celsius, had to find all the historic data for my local weather recording station, and then I did go through and create a spreadsheet where I have every day of August 2020 until the end of July 2021. So I do have that spreadsheet. I then bought some very cheap thread, which came with some needles, a about 25 centimetre embroidery hoop, and then some fabric. I went for just really cheap basic supplies because I didn't want to spend and waste a lot of money on a project that might not work, I might not finish, and it was my first go at embroidery. But it did actually work out quite well, I think, with the supplies that I've got. I have a good range of colours. And I went round the circumference or the edge of the circle with just black running stitch, and then I divided it up into sections, 12 sections, one for each month of the year. They are really not even, which is very obvious once I started. I mean, I knew it right away when I'd done it because I just eyeballed it, which was kind of silly. I didn't want it to be too perfect because the whole point is that it's kind of handmade, and so I kind of liked having the kind of imperfections. But some of the sections are a lot smaller than the others, which makes it a bit of a squish to try and fit in 30 or 31 days worth of embroidery stitches. Actually, one of the biggest sections ended up being for February, which is the shortest month. So that's my big mistake, I suppose, that I've made, but it's fine. It's not really caused any problems. I then did go on and in pencil, I did put a mark, just a really basic like circle or star or line for every day of that month so that I could work out how all the stitches would fit, how all the symbols would fit in that section. I don't know if that was the best way of doing it. It's a little bit contrived, and perhaps it would have been more natural and organic if I hadn't pre-planned it, but I just really predicted that I think I was correct in my prediction that I would just end up either running out of space or having too much space and a lot of white space. And I think this way did actually work out better, and they're more evenly spaced out. I will say that as I get down to the bottom of the sections, because I'm starting at the top and working my way down, some of the stitches are getting a little bit squished together, so I am trying to leave less white space near the top so that there's a little bit more breathing room at the bottom. But I am also trying to do a mixture of sizes. The sizes don't really denote anything different at all, and nor do the type of stitches that I've used. I've just used a handful of embroidery stitches that I knew and that I found online that I think makes quite a nice kind of variation using the different stitches. It's just the colours that denote the temperatures. The size and the type of stitch don't denote anything else. But I actually think it works out quite well so far. I've done August to January. And I think they're looking pretty good. I actually really like October. I really think that it has a lot of different colours, which look quite nice, and it all just kind of worked together. And that was like the third month that I did, so I kind of got into a bit of a rhythm with it. This is August, and I did do a little heart for my son's birthday. That's the only one that symbolizes anything. I did think about doing it in a different color, like a gold or something, but then I thought that would kind of defeat the point of the project to keep the colors representative of the temperatures. But that is where I've got to so far, and then I'm just going to keep going with it. And I'm pretty pleased with how it's looking so far. I think it's looking better than I anticipated it would, and also I think it will be finished a lot quicker than I thought it would be as well. So that's also a good thing. Let me know what you think in the comments, and give me a like and subscribe.